Well, we're ready to take on one of the biggest myths of all time. You know, the next one in the Bible is the Noah's Ark story. And, you know, everyone really loves it. They say, oh, it's got to be real, it's got to be real. But I say, like, you know, how real fucked up do you got to be to believe that you can go and collect up all these critters and put them on a boat and save them? You know, it'd be quite a task. You know, and so, you know, you have to look at it as, you know, this is at the beginning of the stories. And, you know, other than this was the second story to go to, a friend of mine who I'm going to leave anonymous, you know, is having troubles, you know, dealing with reality, and that, just applying some of what I know to reality, you find that, there's not a whole lot of truth to a lot of things, and that there's just one giant trick out there, you know, and those people that don't care, you know, can ride that wave and enjoy it, you know. They're the pretty ones, they got the money, they got the time, they don't have time for anything else. You'll see that these stories aren't for them, you know. Christ and all these Buddhas and all, they all come to, you know, in the stories, they come to the poor folk, they come to the people that are hurting, the ones that feel trapped, the ones that are the slaves. You know, this world that we live in isn't all that happy and great for a certain group of people. And, you know, that's why you can't get other people to even care. You know, even preachers that make money, they don't care. They don't want to know the truth, because the truth, then they can't do it anymore. You know, because then they would feel like they were lying, they were misleading, because then they could really show them where heaven was, and that'd make them feel bad. You know, and so anyways, it's before I get off of it, the idea is it's really, the Bible is all about the mind. Okay, these things of Abraham, you know, once you take them on the outside, yeah, they're evil. You know, they are evil, because that's the way people want to read them. You see, that's the outside, that's the dark side. You know, and like he says, two stories, two sides to every story. I used to joke that with a coin, I would say, there's three, because there's an edge to a coin. You know, so you could throw in another one too sometime, somewhere. But this whole idea, you know, of the Bible and talking about creation, it's talking about you. You are the earth, you know. And when it would talk about, you know, creating the 7 days and then bringing up to heaven, they're talking about the spiritual side of you. In fact, that's how the creation stories are mixed up. One is about the, you know, the physical aspect of creation, and the other one is about the spiritual aspect. So everything is in duality. And that's how we're going to lead into this, the stories, because you can't have the Bible without it. And they say, oh, duality, you know, this is New Age. It's not New Age. It's the idea of God being both higher conscious and lower conscious, that he is both the lower vibrations and higher vibrations. And just through science alone, we know that the lower the vibrations on things, the less involved or evolved, or they devolve. You know, it's just a sadness that goes on that you could see in frequency. And higher the vibrations and tones and tonals and energies and vibrations and frequencies, the more beautiful, the more controlled, the more, not controlled so much as they're just harmony and beautiful, and they exist in a higher conscious, in a higher vibration. And that's the effects of it on us. If someone's going to talk bad about you all day long, make you feel terrible, and even yourself, you feel like, oh, I'm a piece of shit, I don't mean anything, you know, you know, so all you're doing is feeding in all this negative energy into yourself, and so you should feel like shit. You should get sick and you should have cancer and stuff like that, you know. It's a part of an eye for an eye. If you want shit to happen, talk about it, think about it, then it'll happen. You know, you don't have to ask for it. That's what I do. I said, you know, that shit comes regardless, because, you know, it's like waves, you know, but they return out to sea and then they come back again. Shit, you know, that's why these trips up to heaven are free, because you got to be a frequent flyer sometimes in this world, you know. Alright, so I don't want to get off the beat, but we're talking about developing of consciousness and making decisions. That's what that spot about, feeding from the tree of knowledge. All of a sudden, they weren't asking anything. They were living up in heaven. They were enjoying it. Well, the consequences of making your own decisions sometimes can weigh on someone. And that's why our minds get full of crap. And they become like, I know so many friends, but this friend in general, my sons and my daughters, they're all going, in the world around us, we see it going, spinning off into shit. And I use a metaphor, like a black train, don't go on that black train. Well, we can't get off of it. We're on this train. What the hell, And, it can be like, this is when the world is getting you down, and it's in your mind, and it's crazy. And it's going on and on and on. And this is what needs to get cleaned out. Even though it's really happening, but, we're dwelling on it. It means we're feeding on the lower aspects of everything. I remember saying something to someone. I said, if all we have is the view out this train that we're on, it's moving really, really fast. And you can't jump off of it, and it's just too wild to even want to try to take hold of it, change. But if all we got to see is what's going on outside that window, I'm ready for it to crash. I will, and like everyone else, crash, 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 Jesus come, Well, Jesus ain't going to come, but there is going to be a breaking point. And, God aside from everything, these are the stories that they left for us. For this day and age that's going to happen. It had to happen. It had its day. It's got its day. It's all written down. It's told this is going to happen. And it's only those few of us that actually can see things that are going on. It's not just the Mandela, because these people in the Mandela, they're off on the flat earth and flat brain and the changes of the Bible, and they're still worrying about the surface, and they're praying, oh, I'm missing my devil. No, let them have it. See, so that's not a part of the change. I think it'll be us. Those guys that actually can see these things are the ones that get rewarded in the end. And I'll show you that tomorrow or later on today in Scripture, what it means to be able to see past the parable for those people, those few that do, But anyways, let's get back to our Noah. He was like, remember, Noah didn't exist. You are Noah. And right now, the storm is out to sea. It may change. It could change its course and come and envelop Key West. But right now, it's beautiful outside. There's no birds. There still are no birds. And a lot of people are just sitting around watching because no one believes those weather people no more. It keeps shifting and sliding and moving around. But they're getting down to the nitty gritty, and we're all like standing there watching. It won't be us. Maybe it won't. But anyways, this is the time to build an ark. Alright? Before all shit comes down and hits the ground, that's what this story is about, is that you build your ark now. Because the storm is a-coming. Alright? Now, there are some interesting things about him being 600-something years old. They're actually talking about the age of Pisces. I've got this, I know if I flip it around it might be upside down, but I know a lot about a lot of things, or a little bit about a lot of things, and it's about this. That's the sixth age. The guy, the planet that's in charge of that is Neptune. So the flooding and all that stuff. Noah means rest. The name, is supposed to be rest. That's why he's one of God's favorites, because he's rest. He's all about the Sabbath and reaching the Sabbath at all costs, to the point of flooding out the whole world. All right, or Earth. But remember, Earth is our lower conscious. That's what needs to get cleaned out. And in this day and age where people really want to get away from it all, they can't. This is where the scriptures say that men will want to die, and they can't. And it's a shame, because what happens is they're either been polluted, the system can't work because something's been fixed in there or broken. Something needs a little screwing on, or your pineal gland has been turned into something else by what you've been thinking and what you've been drinking, and or that you're just so busy is, I would believe, the thing, because he didn't come to people that were in spas and enjoying life. I say, drinking lattes and stuff like that. No, he came to people that were sick already. So I don't think you need to have all those beautiful life skills to keep your body going, but you can be polluted from the mind by putting bad programs in. People, I'm scared to go in there, so they can never go. Every time they see I'm going to be chased by a demon, well, then they maybe never make it. So anyways, all right, getting back to the story is that, this thing is built in cubits. Cubits is 18 inches. So right off the bat, you see the number 9. And the number 18, it's a beautiful number. It's supposed to mean life, And so consciousness is life, Like if you saw a little gnat flying around, a little fly, there's a little bit of conscious flying around. That's life. Something beautiful. And even the trees and things like that, you don't see them moving, they're growing. They maybe going too slow for you to see, but that's life. And it's beautiful. And there's 2 aspects of it. There's a good side and a bad side of things. So the suns, if you notice that whenever you're going to build this ark, you're supposed to pitch it, That means get it dark. You're going in, you're going to shut the door, And you're actually building a window in it. One window up in the roof. Way, way, way up in the roof is all it is, But the cubit means none. So you're talking about, again, you're building yourself. It's all about your mind. Again, all these stories are about that. The body is a vessel. When they talk about tossing your, you want to catch some wisdom and understand some fish, toss your net to the right side of the boat. You'll see that we're known as vessels. The body is the vessel for Christ and all this. So, you see this theme as being a boat. And their duality are things, things that are flying are beautiful things about you, on the positive side, the spiritual side, and things that are, a beast in nature, it's not so good a side, your carnal things. So you want both of you. Bring me all. I want all of you. And all the creepy crawly shit that you don't want to admit to, that's way down. I want y'all. Take me all. I want all of you to come up in there. Ride this out with me. And we'll all come out beautiful in the end, But because we're just not so sure and we're still scared and stuff like that, That's what happens when we're floating around on the top of the ocean and stuff like that, and we're waiting for land. Oh my God, is we going to have any land? And a raven is let loose. That's a negative thought. That's the, what I just went through. Oh no. And just a little ways later, they put out a white dove. Oh yes. And then it comes back eventually with something that seams it all together. Right? Land ho. All right. And so the thing sits. The wind, the Lord brought a wind to blow. So this is the 3rd stage of consciousness. So earth is your the first phase. The water that's rising up is the 2nd phase of consciousness. Baptism. That's baptism, and you want to be immersed in it, And so it raises you up, and so he sets a wind to blowing and the bird flying. That's the 3rd phase. That's the air. And then when you make it to the top of the mountain, usually it's fire, but in this case we're going to use wine. Because Noah gets drunk off the wine, the new wine. And he's found naked. And it means he doesn't have anything between him and God, and it's just beautiful. Thank God his daughters aren't around to fuck him or something like that, like these other stories, because that would mean him coming together. But what you had was his sons came in and they couldn't even, oh my God, my father's naked, oh my God. Backing up to him, that's stupid, So these retarded, guys could stand aside of their father being nude. But, you'll see that as it was, is that, they're the ones that got in trouble later on, Ham and his buddy, and Ham winds up being the dark, all right, dark, black is, this is why, this is the slave text in a lot of ways, but the idea that because he saw his father naked, makes him into a servant. But what happens is that it's the black intellect side of our 4 phases of consciousness that we're really trying to get a grip on. And so you'll know that the black is always killing the white, which is, Cain killing Abel. It's the same story, you know. The left side's it doesn't have to answer to the Lord, you know, and he spends all his time killing it, you know. So it's that same story. It's the serving. So the side, you know, gets served by the black, you know, and it's just a shame that it goes on like that. So you see the outside. Everyone really loved that outside because it really meant that all those years and lives of torture and hurting other people was a God-given right, you know. But to think that, oh well, we misread that. Well, did we? Yeah. But anyways, he came to rest on top of the mountain on the 7th month. Now, in astrology, what it is the first age would be like Leo, Cancer second, Gemini, you know, as they moved on. And we just came from Pisces. Remember, all these things were about Pisces. So the next age that we're looking at is Aquarius, where we're at now. So it's going to be easier for us. The conduit is open for us now. Uranus rules this. It spins a whole different way. And he used to be, you know, in the cosmology of all things. That's Gaia, the Earth. That's her husband. And he's taking it back over from their child, Saturn, the one that castrated him, sent him off on his own, you know, and that's why we haven't had a direct contact with him, and this is why this age is supposed to be beautiful. And, you know, or starting, you know, it's supposed to be going on, and they say everything that's hidden will be revealed, you know. Well, you know, we're seeing a lot of revealing going on, but look at who cares. You know, I'm revealing a lot of shit. I get 10 people, 5 people, all they want to do is watch that Mandela crap, you know. But anyways, all of these things are all written in the stars, and they're showing up in our book, and that's what you're supposed to be reading. You're supposed to be seeing that stuff. So what you're really seeing here is that's the chakra system, and you want to get above the 6. The idea, you want to go above water, you want to go above Pisces, you want to go one above them into Aquarius, and that's your baptism. And that's your rest from yourself. And all that gets purged and cleaned and stuff like that is you, and all those terrible things that have ever happened to you and all that. And then all you just need to do is just come up there and collect with them every now and then. That's the story of Noah. So, build your ark today. Love you. Take care.